So today we're going to talk about how new coaches are using speaking to get their first clients. And I can tell you 100% you can do this faster than using social media. And I know that for a lot of you guys, you might be really excited about that. So because you don't love social media. So welcome. I am glad that you are here. Just to put a little reference here, I have another screen, so I'll be looking at your messages over here. But again, Tice is here at least most of the time today to be able to answer those questions as well. At the end, I will answer every person's questions. I want to make sure that you get what you need out of this. We are just coming off of the Design Live Thrive Summit. It was our 4th summit. I would love to know in the chat who actually went to the summit or who's seen the summit. If you purchased a VIP upgrade, if you did not, is there anybody here that did not watch the summit? If you have not watched the summit, I would love to know that too. Actually, Tice, would you do me a favor? And you did not. Okay. I would like to see if you can get Christine to give us a discounted link for $27. And let's open back up the coaching sessions. I'm sorry for you coaches that are here, but I want to give anybody who's here who did not buy the $27 VIP. It currently is $47 and it does not include any coaching sessions. So I'd like to be able to offer that to you guys today. So anyway, that's what our VIP ticket upgrade was. Our speakers came and spoke at the summit, and for $27 as an attendee, not only did you get access to the replays for a full year, you also had an opportunity to get on calls with our summit speakers for complimentary coaching sessions. So that was a beautiful opportunity. If you did attend the summit, I would love to know how you heard about it. Was it through an email, through one of us? Was it because a friend invited you? We're always looking to understand. By the way, I'm teaching you right at this very moment. We're always assessing to see what's happening. So we make sure we know where we stand on our marketing as well. Can everybody see the screen okay and hear me okay? Everybody good? Okay. All right. The summit, I'll just tell you again, our 4th summit. We're getting ready to have a summit in September. The summit was phenomenal. The feedback from attendees, we actually are doing surveys right now. People loved it. They felt like it was super high quality. One thing that I'll just mention to you about our summit that's really interesting that is different from what anybody else does is our summit is live. I guess Tony Robbins does a live summit, but we're not quite Tony Robbins. So we do a live summit, and that's something completely different. You might see a lot of summits, but what you might not realize is they're recorded videos. So they're not actually live speaking events. So that's really one of the things that makes the summit different. Thank you so much for that feedback. Okay, so where can you speak if you're a coach? There's the category of speaking a recorded talk, which I was just talking about. Like you can do things that are lots of summits. Tice has done summits. I've done summits. There's lots of opportunities for those. By the way, it's another really interesting point. We have a speaker who I think is already on the call here, who was sharing with us about a summit that she was invited to be a part of. And the cost of a 40-minute talk to be a part of it was $2,000. It's pretty interesting what there is out there. I'll share the details about our summit here in a little bit. But so there's recorded talks and there's live talks. Obviously, the energy that you bring is completely different when you're doing it live, no matter how good you are. There's stages that you can be on, like on stage. If you have like speaking is on my bucket list, you could go to somebody's retreat and speak, which I'd love to do that. You could go to something at your church and speak on stage, or in a women's group and speak on stage, which there's not a lot of opportunities like that. There are some, but most of us are speaking virtually now, especially I heard somebody mention COVID. Linda has COVID. After COVID, everybody went virtual. Then there's are you going to speak on your own stage? And right now, if we're talking about your own stage where you've organized the event, the public event, that you would be paying for the space, you'd be doing all the inviting, the tickets, getting the people there, all that, setting up the AV equipment, not VA, AV equipment, all that. Or you can do it virtually. And again, is it your stage virtually like Zoom, or is it going to be somebody else's? One of the beautiful things about our summit is that it's a collaborative effort. So our speakers are all part of the marketing of the summit. Plus I run ads. So it's a collaborative effort. You utilize my list and our speakers. And just one last thing I'll mention about the summit is that I will answer all of your questions along the way. Please put them there. I will answer them when we get to the end. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. I better not look in the chat anymore because my mind is buzzing as I read those. So if you're speaking on somebody else's stage, most of the time, what they're going to ask you if you're speaking on a summit is they're going to say, hey, Debbie, submit a 30-minute talk and you have to send these emails and you have to do this promotion and it costs you this much. Okay. So that's one way, or again, like the way we've done it, we've brought all of our speakers together and we've done the marketing forum and brought in a group of women. So you guys, most of you attended that. So wherever you speak though, here's the real key. You have to know what to say. And this is the missing link between the kind of summit that we do and the summit that I have been a part of. Like people have asked me to speak at some big summits and they give you no directions. It's like you have 40 minutes and I'm like, okay, what's the format and what are you thinking? And it's just turn in a talk or just speak. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. So we actually have a complete format so people know exactly what to say. We want to make sure that people know how to attract clients and what the process is versus just putting something out there and hoping you get some interaction. So we often refer to this as a workshop. Our summit happens 2 times a year. Most of you want to speak, but there's, let's be honest, not lots of speaking opportunities, but you create your own opportunity by hosting a workshop. That's what we're doing here today. So I'm going to teach you how to do a workshop. I'm going to teach you how to do a workshop in 60 minutes and how to sell in that 60 minutes. I will go through what we call our workshop blueprint. It's a process for doing it. We actually had this available, the blueprint part of it, available as a micro course and as an upgrade. Today, it's available to you if you do one of our assessment sessions with us. So new coaches that are using speaking, this is 100% proven by our own business results, will get clients faster than social media any day of the week. And again, I know most of you are relieved because you don't love social media anyway. So we're going to teach you today. I'm going to teach you a repeatable process that you can use to bring in clients when you present a workshop. Our results from our speakers, I'll be talking about that as we go through. They use the same process. Again, I will say for myself, and I think now I can speak for all of the clients that spoke in this summit and the last summit, I don't know any other way that they brought in, grew their email list, booked calls, and got clients faster than 30-minute talk at our summit. I really don't. So it's an incredible opportunity to be able to do that if you have a place to speak or host a workshop. So as far as workshops, we have a lot of clients that come to us like they have no business. They don't even know what their niche is. They're just getting started. Maybe they have a website. We have people coming in at different levels, but a lot of them haven't hosted workshops. There's a lot more to a workshop, which is why I'm talking to you about it today. But it's so fun to see the results. And maybe you might be thinking, okay, 6 people attended. This person said it felt like 1,000. If I had 6 people at my first workshop, I had this particular client had 15 people attend. This one had 8. This particular person made her first offer for her beta program. This was an actual in-person. This was somebody who does Airbnb real estate investments that she was coaching on. She did an in-person thing to realtors in California, and she had 6 people come to it and she loved it. Lots of different ways to do that. We've been using the same process for years, so it's not new. Why did I decide to do this workshop today? I actually had something else scheduled, but after the summit that was literally 10 days ago, it was so good. I was like, I have to talk about speaking right now. We can't wait until later to talk about it. So our next summit date is September 10th, 11th, and 12th. This summit that is just finished. We just got off a coaching call. We had calls yesterday and last week with our clients who spoke. They're all working on follow-up. We had a coach, Norma, who was one of our summit speakers, who is working on a workshop to do in the next few days that will re-engage the summit attendees or the people who signed up on her list. So we're working on all the ways of how do you reconnect with people? How do you continue to get more coaching sessions booked out of the talk that you create? How do you get consultations? and then just make even more connections beyond that. It's a very exciting time around here, which is why I got to teach people how to do this. So again, teaching this now because the results have been so amazing. So this is just a quick recap of our last summit, which was in the fall. 7 days after the summit, we had actually, I think it was 23 speakers, and only 14 speakers had reported 7 days after the summit. If you don't know what an opt-in is, that's how you grow your email list. Somebody opts in to get a freebie from you. These are coaches who had, for the most part, 0 people ever opt in to anything. And if you have a freebie and grown an email list, it's painstaking to get people to opt in. These 14 coaches had 317 people opt in 7 days. They had 38 calls booked and had already made 11 sales in 7 days. The summit so far, as of last Thursday, we only had gotten the first few results because we only talked to people. I don't know, it's like day 5. We talked to 11 of the coaches so far that spoke. They so far at that point had 327 opt-ins, 26 confirmed calls, and sales that were still coming in. So we'll continue to follow up with those summit speakers, but yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. And again, I really want to emphasize this is from a live speaking event, different, where all of the marketing is orchestrated. I'll tell you about that too, to make sure that we had a good showing. All right. So if you guys don't know me, I'm Debbie Shadid. I'm so glad you're here. I know there's people here that I don't know. So grateful to have you here. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and a Gigi. So I'm a mom. I changed what that said. I'm a mom and I am a Gigi to Jack and Lucy. I'm committed to helping female coaches go from 0 bookings to getting calls scheduled. And I'll just tell you, I don't blow smoke. I don't overpromise. Whatever I'm going to tell you today is the exact facts. I'm not here saying you can make $100,000 tomorrow. You can't. I'm going to be honest with you. You can't. Have people done it before? They have. But I'm realistic about what really can happen for you. Building a business requires work. I can make it easier for you for sure, but businesses are not built overnight, and particularly the way that you want to build them. I am committing to helping make coaching a conversation between girlfriends. That is my mission. I want people to understand what coaches do, what the value of it is. And all of our speakers actually have the same mission. And I know all of you guys do too. Like, you want people to understand the value of coaching so that more of us will be hired. I think coaching is amazing. And the most significant transformations in my life, honestly, have happened through coaching. So I want people to utilize coaching. I'm committed to women having businesses. For most of the people that are here, I'm not looking at all your faces right now, but you're building a business for one time for the rest of your life. Whether that be a coaching business or whatever kind of business it is, this is it. We're going to build it, not because you're old, but I'm doing this one time and doing it right, and that's it. So I am definitely committed to overcoming the BS that's out there. I think so much false information is shared about how businesses are built and what it takes. So I'm definitely an advocate of being honest and truthful. And I operate, one of my high values is integrity. So you won't hear me say anything that's not accurate here. So why would I want you to speak? Again, the summit is a perfect example of how we had their ideal clients were sitting there in the room, right? And they were educating them. This is the key. When I say I'm on a mission to have girlfriends talking about coaching, the reason why they're not talking about it is because they don't understand what coaching is. The gap between you having the business that you want is they don't understand what you can do. You can have a website, which you need to have. You can have a marketing message. You can be on social media. You can be doing YouTube and all the other things. But education is key. And again, we've proved that time and time again through workshops that we teach our clients how to do, through the workshops I'm doing, and through our summit success for sure. So if you want to have clients, I recommend that you decide to either speak or host workshops, because they're both really powerful ways. So today I'm going to cover the 3 steps. Oh, Linda, thank you for the love. I did see that message. The 3 steps to getting yourself set up. I'm going to share with you what is all involved in doing this, because it's more than you think. We have people who are like, oh yeah, I'm going to host a workshop or I'm going to go speak. And it's like, okay, if this is your platform and it's your stage, like I mentioned earlier, if you're going to do it on Zoom, whether you're going to do it in person or on Zoom, the first part that you prepare is, what's the marketing going to be? How's my workshop going to, what's the flow of the conversation going to be? And What's the plan for doing this? You got to figure that out. Like, when is it going to happen? When do I need to start marketing? How many people do I want to come? And one ultimate question I always say to everyone is, what's the purpose of what you are doing? I will talk about that. I'm going to give you an outline for your talk. So I'll talk about that in a minute as well. If you're doing a live workshop, then we need to know about timing. What's the flow of how long you talk? So our summit talks were 30 minutes. We had an exact outline for how they did it. They knew, spend 5 minutes on this, spend this much time on the next 3 steps, spend this much time on this. And then they practiced it, we reviewed it. So everybody knew what the timing was. I'm going to give you timing to a standard workshop, a 60-minute workshop here in just a minute. And then afterwards, how do you follow up with people? It's one thing to do a workshop, but the workshop is not relevant unless you follow up with people, right? They're now said, I'm interested in you. What do you do? What's the next step? I mentioned to you a moment ago, and I don't think that Norma's on this call, but I mentioned that we just got off a call with Norma, and Norma's getting ready to host a second workshop. So the people, she's got 77 people that came from the summits, and she's going to have those people be invited to another workshop where she explains about Hashimoto's. By the way, if anybody has Hashimoto's and you want to know about solving it, Norma's an expert on that. So that's what she's going to be doing. I'm going to talk to you about how you walk through that process. Okay. Again, I'll answer questions at the end. I will also share the details if you are interested in exploring the Design, Live, Thrive Summit as a business builder for you as well. You can access, it's not available for sale, but you can access this entire kit. I reviewed it yesterday. It's a lot of stuff. It's the invite emails, it's social media posts, it's social media graphics, it's presentation slides. It's all customizable for you when you schedule a business evaluation session to see if you've got a viable business. That is what you get as a bonus. Tice, can you put the link in the chat? I do have time available on Thursday for that. All right, so today I want to do 2 things. When you leave this call, I want you to tell me what your workshop title is going to be, what the hook is going to be, and I'll do a spoiler here. At the end, you're going to tell me what day it's going to be too. That's the third step we're going to do. We're going to decide what day it's going to be. If there's anything that I'm missing, please unmute and bring in any feedback that you want to. So anyway, okay, the 3 steps in the framework. The first step I mentioned is the pre-workshop preparation, the planning, the marketing, and then crafting your workshop. What does that look like? Okay, so you're going to select a topic. And this sounds so obvious when I say this, but check for alignment with your coaching niche.
Hey coaches, it's Debbie Shadid here. I've got something very special for you. If you're trying to figure out how to get coaching clients on your own and you're wondering what to post, how to explain what you do, or how to actually sell your coaching, this is for you. I'm inviting you to join me for a live edition of the Fast Track and VIP coaching experiences. This is your chance to stop spinning in indecision and finally take those actions that are needed to build a profitable coaching business. You'll get the answers, the guidance, the support you're looking for, plus real-time feedback on your niche, your offers, and your marketing. Spots are very limited and enrollment closes soon. Let's connect. DebbieShadid.com/schedule to claim your spot and to talk about your options. Let's get you clients faster and easier than you ever imagined.
You really have to make sure that whatever your niche is, this is actually what they want to hear. And then you have to give them a reason why they want to hear this. I'll use Norma again as the example. Norma, if she's here, she's getting it. She said, I'm going to do this workshop on Hashimoto's. I was like, okay, noted. I understand that because it fits within her niche, but why are they going to come listen to you? Why you? Why today? Why now? What is it? So you want to really ensure that topic is going to solve a real problem, because what I'm talking about now is marketing. Like, why is somebody going to give you an hour of their time to come learn about Hashimoto's from you or from anybody else? Okay. Then you want to clarify your hook. The hook is like the thing that gets them in. That's what I was asking Norma, like, why now? Why you? Why do they need to care about learning from you about Hashimoto's? That's the hook that gets her audience in to listen to her. And then you want to help them get some awareness. So what is the awareness you want them to have? For our Design Live Thrive Summit speakers, we said we want one key takeaway. Before we ever even got started on crafting their talk, we said, hey, Norma, hey, whoever here that's going to speak, Linda, Pamela, whoever, tell us what your person is going to walk away with. What is the one thing that they're going to walk away with? That is like what you build everything else around. So that identity, identifying the awareness that your attendee is going to walk away with is key. And by the way, it's not a whole bunch of things. It's one thing. It's a 30-minute talk where you're like, we want them to understand that you have an answer to this one thing and that their life can look different by working with you to get the answer. Then we want to determine what the transformation is going to be. When they leave you, what are they going to understand is going to happen? We have another one of our speakers on here, Rachel. Rachel helps photographers who want to get from 5 figures to 6 figures or multiple 6 figures. And that is what they're going to leave with, is an understanding of the 3 steps that they're going to have to take to get from 5 figures to 6 figures. This is part of Rachel's process. So that's the expected transformation that they will understand. Okay, she gave them 3 things they needed to do, and they now understand how they're going to need to specialize, and that Rachel has the answer. And then you want to determine what's your next step. I've already told you what your next step is here today. I would like to assess your business. I'd like to do an evaluation and just help you see if the idea that you have for your business is a viable one. We all have a lot of ideas about what our business is going to be. Some of you guys have been working on your business for a couple years, maybe you have a website, maybe you have been on social media, but if you don't have the results that you want, then there's a gap. Something is not right there. So let's look and see what that is. That is your next step with me. What would be your next step with your people? All right. The guidelines for crafting your presentation. This is not the outline for our summit talk. That's different, but this is an outline to teach and tell in 60 minutes. I'm sorry, teach and sell, not tell. Teach, tell, and sell in 60 minutes. Okay, so the first thing is that powerful hook. I was talking to you about why are they coming and what is it? So I'm going to use weight loss as an example. Most of us who are here, maybe at one point, unless you're just super fortunate, have thought about weight loss at one point in our life. So it's an example that we can all relate to. So if your hook is something about somebody being overweight, and we had a coach that was talking about weight gain after bariatric surgery, preparing for bariatric surgery. So they're overweight, and that's our situation. We have a coach who's a Christian weight loss coach who's talking about food addiction, a 12-step process that is her proprietary process about food addiction. So whatever your thing is, those people both had the same common denominator about overweight, okay? 3 related points that I would be sharing if I was doing this to get people's attention is maybe the problem is that your clothes don't fit. Maybe it's that you're not comfortable traveling because you have to walk and you have to be out there. You don't want to be on the beach in your swimsuit. Whatever the picture is you want to paint. And then maybe it is that you're not able to exercise. Glenna, our speaker, who's the Christian coach with the 12-step process for people who are addicted to food. And by the way, her point is, if you've not been able to lose weight and maintain weight loss, you're addicted to food because you keep regaining it. There's a deeper issue that you're not solving. So she was talking about, like, her problem is that because of her weight, she couldn't even grocery shop. So she had to have groceries delivered to her house. That would be a relatable point that some people might be like, yeah, I get you. I don't want to go walking through the grocery store either. It was difficult for her. All right. Then a relatable story. Her relatable story was like, I could not go grocery shopping. Can you imagine? I couldn't go grocery shopping. First of all, I didn't want people to see what I was putting in my cart. Second of all, it was just too physically taxing for me to do it. That's an embarrassing moment. She didn't say that, but that was her story of relatability. Then to share, what are you missing out on? Oh my gosh, a life that, again, in Glenna's example, that she absolutely loves. In Charlotte's example, once she was able to lose the weight, she could have bariatric surgery. She actually regained 100 pounds and has lost it again. And I believe has kept it off for like over 10 years. What is her new reality now? She finally has what she was trying to accomplish with every shot, pill, and bariatric surgery. So what she had missed out, she can paint a life for sure that people missed out on. So what happens when you have a coach? That is where you are showing what the gap is. And I'll just simply said, you lose weight for good. You find out why you're addicted to food and how you manage it. You find out how you're able to lose weight and still eat food at a volume, something like that. Okay. And then share the transformations of what happened. Glenna shared pictures of herself of the transformation. I know actually Norma, another client that talked about health, she showed some personal pictures as well. Okay, the last thing is that you do a recap. At the end of your talk, you're going to recap, which I'll do here at the end here. You recap, you tell them, here's what we covered today, and drop any questions that there are, right? You're still engaging people in the chat, and here's your next step. I want to invite you guys to schedule a time with me to let me check and see if what you're thinking about for your business is really viable and give you some next steps. All right, and then why now? I'll tell you why now, because for me, I have opened up, sorry, Tice, I didn't tell you this, next Wednesday or Thursday, a 3-hour time block. Tice and I'll decide what day is best. We have a 3-hour time block open for anybody new to work with us, basically semi-privately with whoever joins from today. And we will make some massive progress next week. So that's a why now. Why now? That's a why now. Okay. And then the call to action, telling them what to do. You're going to either share a link or you're going to show them or something. Okay. All right. So that's the actual outline of what you're going to do. What you are selling where you are today is a conversation. What I am selling is a conversation. I'm not giving you the link to click and buy anything today. I want to connect with you. I want to make sure that you have a viable business. Can you make money? You want to connect with people to build a bridge of understanding. It'd be great if you were at a point where you could do click and buy, but I'll just say, I think 90% of the coaches, and I don't have evidence of this, but 90% of people anymore are not click and buys. Most all of us are having conversations with people, right? We want to work with the best people. And so that's what you do through, I call it a comfortable conversation, by the way, not a consultation, comfortable conversation. All right. So you also then, when you get through your presentation, you're going to follow up with Q&A and coaching. One thing that's key is you want to have questions already prepared. You open up the floor. If you guys didn't have questions, I would already say, okay, since nobody's got any questions, what I want to tell you is these are the common questions that people are asking, or the common questions that we get in coaching around this. So I would create conversation. Maybe I would bring up my slides again, and I might go back to a particular place and create conversation around that. I have down here, and I realized I just added this right before we got on, this little thing down here at the bottom, Summit. I decided to go through the presentation right before I got on and mark in the bottom corner everything that we do for our clients with the Summit. Mark every one of those things on the slide. So pretty much from this point on, everything that you see a little check mark in the bottom corner is what we do with our clients for the Summit. So we went through every step of their talk. We helped them with this part. They actually submitted questions to us because it was a live event. Thais, a beautiful Thais, and I were co-hosts, and we actually talked to people. If you were there, you know that. We asked questions in the chat. You can bring people on live if you want to. I have you all here live because I want to see your sweet faces at the end and really talk to you. You can do it however you want to do it, but that was another piece that we handled in the Summit.
Hey, Debbie, can I interrupt you for a second?
Please.
Okay, here's what I think it's important for all of you guys to understand too, especially as Debbie's explaining about the Summit and the difference, right? And what we do and why she's telling about the Summit. The Summit, it's basically the doing after you learn. Right. So a lot of programs would give you the ability to learn more and consume more. And that is great. I love learning and I love watching classes, but just that doesn't really build your business. You can have all the knowledge in your head, but unless you have a place for you to apply that knowledge, that's what builds the business. It's not mindset and it's not strategy. It's actually the action of doing that, the execution. And that's why the summit. And again, if you don't want to participate in the summit, but you want to work with us,
Yeah.
lovely. And we will actually walk you through in the VIP program all of the steps to create your summit talk, even if you're not presenting. Why? Because you have to do it. Just learning, and it feels great, but it doesn't get the business. So that's what so as you were looking at whatever she's explaining to you now about how we support our clients, I want you to keep in mind, and that is with us helping you to do those things. It's not just you receiving a class and saying, here, and now tell me all the mindset issues that you have so it can help you with coaching. No, it's actually, let's do it so that you can have the business that you are creating. All right. So just, sorry, Debbie, to interrupt you, but it's.
I should have spotlighted you. I'm sorry, you guys. I did not spotlight highlight Thais. I
But
apologize about that.
it's important for us to see, right? The business is created when you are doing those things.
Yeah.
And that is what we are very committed to, is to help you do the things, those actions, so that you can have your business.
Yes, please, for goodness sakes. I've got a bunch to cover here today. Don't make this one day, again, whether you work with us or not, I'm here to teach you something. Don't make this one more day where you took a bunch of notes and you didn't actually go do anything with it. You're here. I want you to build a business. So anyway, I do want to touch just for one moment about what a summit is. If you guys have not attended a summit, this kind of off script here for a moment. But so let me explain about the Design, Live, Thrive Summit. So you use that as your example. When I was working with coaches a few years ago, I was like, what is the one thing that our clients need to be able to do? And it was two things. One, they needed to build respect as the coach, like mostly from their own family and their friends and their coworkers who think they're idiots, right? They think you're crazy for doing this coaching thing, like this scam online. So I needed to help them build credibility, expert status, because you guys are experts. I value a coach as much as I value my doctor. So I want to help people have that. The other thing was, how do I help them get in front of an audience that is their audience? So a summit is typically like an audience of people. Like I was in an AI summit last year, and it was for all entrepreneurs who were interested in learning about AI. So I invited my audience, all the other 60 something speakers, I think 66 speakers, invited their audiences. So it was people who were in business who wanted to learn about AI. Our summit is for women who are wanting to have more in their life. They're wanting to explore what's next for them. They're wanting to improve their health, or they want to live their best life and thrive. That's why it's called Design, Live, Thrive. So that's what a summit is. And it's an opportunity for us to bring speakers in around the same topics. We did not, and I'll get on with the presentation. It's interesting. We didn't plan our talks, but it was almost all the same theme, like how to empower women to do the next thing. Okay, let me get on with this. There we go. One thing you do really have to do is practice. And that is for all of you guys that are going to take this next step and go do a workshop. Practicing is essential. I cannot stress this enough. I talk about, once you have one workshop, the workshop that you could create from what you're going to learn today. Once you have this one workshop, you can go and do it, yourself. But let me tell you what, if you don't practice it, it is not good. It is not good. We watch talks that have not been practiced. We watch talks that are being read with a script, or they've got post-it notes all over the place. That is not a good talk. So you have to practice and do that until you have your workshop. I have done this workshop right here, I think 2 times. I was practicing this morning. You would think I don't need to practice, but practice is how you deliver comfortably and confidently. Okay, so 60 minutes. I'm going to tell you about the timeline for your talk. Again, flexible with the timing, but it's good to have this. So what I do with timing, and here is the timeline. If this was my timing for this talk, I would say, okay, if I'm starting at 12 o'clock, I'm going to give the first 5 minutes. By the way, let me give you a pointer right off the bat. If I say I'm starting at 12, I don't know what time I actually started talking today, but 12:02, 12:03, I'm on. Sometimes it's 12:01. I am not going to take anybody's time who came on time. There's no way I'm going to start late and wait for people to come. And in the beginning of your business at 12 o'clock, nobody Possibly nobody might be there. Okay. So that means you start anyway, and people come in while you're talking. Okay. Unless you're in a summit and there's already people there. So in the 60 minutes, first 5 minutes, you're looking at the clock and you're like, okay, it's 12 o'clock. Okay. It's 5 minutes after. I got to wrap this up and get on with the next portion of my talk. That's just a way when you're not reading a script to stay on. If I know that during my 30-minute portion of my talk, I have 40 slides to get through, I'll be watching my slide number to know what my pace needs to be, to know how I get on faster than when I'm getting on. And then 10 minutes to pitch. You guys pick a word that feels good to you, because pitch might feel like, oh, here comes the salesy part. I don't have that thought one bit. I want to talk to you about how I can support you. I want to talk to you about what the summit's about. I want to provide you with what it is that I love to do. So to me, that's talking about your business. Okay. Whatever you want to call it, but it's 10 minutes to explain why they want to have a conversation with you. And by the way, you don't need to call it a consult either. In fact, I don't really like the word consult. That's my personal opinion. Some people are like, no, I want to have a consult because I want people to know that we're talking about buying coaching. I like to have conversations with people. If they're a fit, then we can talk about how I can support them. I like to explore, like when I say, come and have a business assessment, or when I said, do you have an evaluation and let's see if your business is viable? I'm not trying to trick you into a consult. If I evaluate your business and I think it's worth taking some next steps, I'm going to tell you about it then. But you figure out what works for you best. There's a very important piece to be in alignment with whatever you're offering. And then time for Q&A. Please make sure that you have time for Q&A. If you got to the end of your talk, and let's say somebody said, can you tell me about what I would expect on my call? And it was time to end the call and people started dropping off, you would have messed up the whole thing. So don't let that be the case. All right. So practice and then adjust how you need to practice. Last thing I'm going to say, watch yourself back. You record it and you watch yourself back. For this summit, we watched all the talks. We gave feedback. Thais is the best at this. She gives feedback on every person's talk. Then you record it again. But we want our speakers to watch their own talk. You learn so much about what you're doing and what your energy, kind of how you're holding the space by watching yourself. And if you are at all concerned about being nervous, I can assure you the best way to get over a case nerves is to watch yourself back with nobody present. It's the hardest thing to do is watch yourself. So if you have never done that, please do it and you'll grow from it for sure. All right. Then we want to talk about pre-planning your marketing strategy. If you've been in my world very long, nothing happens without marketing. Nothing. We don't get anywhere, any place. For those of you that have a website, you have a niche, you have an offer, you've got a price, you're working on all the things. If you're not marketing your business, not one post, two posts, but all the time consistently in multiple places, you have no business. I can just tell you that's the number one problem. So we need to create a marketing timeline. So when we looked at the summit, we said, well, what is it going to look like to market the summit? We looked at the summit before, the one that we had in September. The September summit, we started marketing on August 1st. The summit was on September 9th and 10th. And so we assessed that. Okay, that was a long timeline for marketing. So this time we started marketing on January 29th, and the summit was on the 12th, 13th, and 14th. So we're assessing now what happened with that. So you create this timeline. So if the summit is happening on the 12th of February, you work backwards. What day do I have to send out the Zoom link? So let's imagine it's your workshop. Okay. I know I keep using the word summit and I want you to apply this to your own business. So this workshop today, if we're just calling it a workshop, what's the timeline? I had to send you guys reminders this morning. I had to say, today is the day. We're starting in 1 hour, we're starting in 5 minutes. So I have those things marked out. Then yesterday, I sent out last chance to sign up. Maybe Monday or Sunday or Saturday, whatever day, I sent out another email to people who haven't signed up yet. Because the first email I sent maybe 7 days ago and said, we're having a workshop on the 24th. Here's what it's going to be about. So maybe there's 2 invites. So that's how we work on the marketing, is we go backwards on the calendar. That's why when I say today, let's pick the date when your workshop is going to be. Let's say it's March 15th. We look and see what day that is. And now we work backwards. We decide when we're going to send the emails. So then you want to write a marketing message. That can happen once you understand what your talk is going to be about. So you've written your talk, you've written the outline to it. We know what your hook is, all those kind of things. I'm going to talk to you about a title here in a minute, but then you can write the marketing message. Why should somebody give you time to come? What is it that they're going to get? What's the hook? What's the takeaway? And then you can create your content and schedule it. The key to the success with the summit, with my events, with our client events, the ones that I told you about, where I said our clients did workshops and got people there, Tice does workshops and gets people there, is that the marketing is scheduled in advance. If you wait and decide, you sent your last email 7 days ago, and let's say 2 people signed up, the likelihood of you sending a second email is not very high. If you already had it scheduled, the first email and the second email, then you'll send it. But if you only had 2 people sign up the first time, you might be so busy telling yourself like, nobody cares, nobody's coming, it didn't work, I don't have anybody who's going to attend this thing, so forget it. Or I'm going to push back the date till later, okay? This is literally what happens. Debbie is speaking, all the things I teach is from my own experience. So you have to have it scheduled out. The other thing that happens is you'll say, I am sending too many messages. I'm just going to tell you that you cannot send too many messages. Half of them are going to promo folders. Half of them are going to spam. We're all busy. We all have ADHD. We cannot remember anything. So you've got to send plenty of reminders. All right. So you're going to write and you're going to design, you're going to schedule your content. I must say this right now. You cannot use ChatGPT for this. Now, I'm also going to say I use ChatGPT every single solitary day in my business. But I know what ChatGPT should say. I write the whole thing first. Then I ask ChatGPT for support. ChatGPT is my assistant. It is not the writer. Okay. I really want to be clear about that. We literally had a call yesterday with our team, and I'll show you guys in a minute. You're going to get a good laugh. Somebody had built a website using ChatGPT, and there was literally blanks on there. There were fake testimonials that said, insert name here. The people had even had Claude build, or whoever it was, build the page, design the page. They had forgotten to fill in the blanks that they needed to do it. It was somebody who was, by the way, it was somebody who was promoting a summit, the one that was going to be $2,000 to sign up for. And she had fake testimonials on her website. So anyway, you want to make sure that you are doing your own thing, that you review them, that you make sure all those little long dashes, all the emojis, all that BS is removed from it. Okay. Otherwise, people don't want to come to things that are planned by ChatGPT because they can ask ChatGPT themselves, right? They want to come to something that you are involved in, right? We cannot be replaced by ChatGPT or any AI, but you can do some dumb things in your business with it. So anyway, email invitations, social media posts, reminders, and then any collaborations. So let me talk about workshops. Let's say you get together with a fellow coach from your certification or a friend. If you're not certified, you're like, hey, let's get together and let's have a vision party. We had a coach, Danielle, who did this. And she was like, I'm going to bring 4 of my friends together. One does yoga. I'm going to do vision. She's an Enneagram coach. I'm going to do a vision party. Let's all come together and let's invite our girlfriends to come together. Let's do it a virtual event. That's a collaboration. Okay. That's how we got 4 girls who each had 15 friends, 60 friends, and they got 15 people to show up out of 60. Okay. So you could do collaborations like that. That's the power of the summit. All of the speakers, myself included, and then I run ads. We all invite our people. We invite friends, family. So if Linda invites her friends, her sister, her whoever from church, they actually might become Pamela's clients. Pamela's friends might become Thais's clients. So that's the power of collaboration. Highly recommend that you do that no matter what. Then you have to make your sign-up form. So now we're getting a little bit techie here, okay? You have to have a sign-up form where somebody opts in, right? They're going to give you their name and their email address. We recommend a tool called Flowdesk. I can give you an affiliate link for that to get it for 50% off, but you don't need to worry about that just yet. I'm just telling you, you have to have a sign up form to get their email address so that you can send them and remind them when the workshop is. And it sounds obvious, but you want to sell at every level. So when they end up on that page where they're going to sign up, they're selling. You are selling them, hey, here's why you want to attend. Here's why you want to sign up. Here's what you're going to get. Here's why I want you to come. Okay. So they're going to get a confirmation email where you're selling again. They're going to get, it's happening tomorrow. These are the reminders that they're going to get after the talk. They're going to get a replay. It's going to have an expiration date. We're going to let people know what the bonuses are. All of that stuff is part of how you really build a business where you get people and clients to convert out of a workshop. Okay. All right. The second step is your actual live event. So you are the expert and you are delivering this very well-crafted workshop, and you're booking whatever you want to call it, consultations, discovery calls, breakthrough sessions. I mentioned to Norma this morning, she should have a Hashimoto's assessment session where she will score where they're at with their Hashimoto's disease. Okay, that's a very specific thing you could ask people to do. Okay, to deliver your workshop, you're going to start out obviously engaging people right away. How are you guys? Tell me, as soon as you came on, I said, tell me what your niche is, right? You do that however you want to do that, but get people welcomed into the room. When you're the expert, you show up strong. If you have the right niche, this is key. If you have the right niche, you are the expert. You have to know what your niche is, or you will not be able to show up confident. I don't need any notes. I don't need a script because I'm the expert at this. Each one of you has an area of expertise that you can talk about with enthusiasm because it is your passion project. I know I could talk to each one of you individually. You tell me what that was. You don't need notes to talk about that. Yes, organize your thoughts, go through our process, but that is how you show up strong. The last thing I'll just mention is, and this is where Thais comes in, you show up strong because you do a little self-coaching before you get on about why this is important, about why you're prepared, about how you can do this. All of that is important. It takes courage to do these things. Then you're going to deliver valuable content without overteaching. Guilty is charged on the overteaching. I overteach. My excuse to myself is always that I'm talking to women who are building businesses and I really want them to walk away with a complete process. You guys, as your coaches that are building a business, most of your people, if you give them very much, depends on your thing, you want to focus on one health challenge and one 3 steps to fixing that. Here's an action step you can solve today. You don't want somebody to be lost in what all you're saying and to walk away overwhelmed. Okay. So we are actually only talking about a speaking event or a workshop today. I'm not talking about your marketing message. I'm not talking about how to find your niche, how to create your brand. It really is focused on one strategy for growing your business. Okay. And then participation. Yeah. I want you guys to, I told you, Thais is here. Get in the chat, ask whatever questions. I'll come back and answer those. You can do polls and all that, but if you guys are noticing, I'm not looking at the chat very long because I get distracted. I don't know about you guys, but that's why I always say, just keep adding the stuff there. If Thais wasn't here, I'll come back and look at it, but I don't want to do it while I'm talking. I want to stay focused on who's in front of me and who's listening right now. Okay. And then your call to action. You are selling a conversation. You're selling to take the step to see how we can implement what we're talking about. Again, you're going to use the language that fits with your business. Thais does coaching around your future self identity. Women who have a picture perfect life and they're secretly unhappy and miserable with it. She could sell some kind of future self session. So you figure out what you're going to sell that is in alignment with your talk. By the way, Thais can tell you what her actual call to action is. I just made that up. So anyway, all right. The third step is after the workshop. The work and the marketing does not end. It honestly just begins. We wrapped up our summit, and the second that summit was over, I'm like, all right, you guys, game on. We have to figure out what we're going to do now. We have to figure out, what the next steps are, how we engage people, What's the gap that we need to fill, right? So what is it that we're going to do? We also did follow-up. We did post-summit podcasts. We did assessments. We're looking at our own marketing. This all sounds like a grand project, but what I want you to know is when you do your first workshop and there's 4 people there, and that's what will happen. I'm going to say congratulations. That's awesome. You're going to still assess. You're going to say, how did I feel about my talk first? Like, where was there some anxiety in me? Did I go off script and blab too much? What of my emails seemed to get a response? Were people reading the emails and not signing up? Did they sign up and not come? That's how you assess what you're doing so you can get better at it. So it seems like it's a big project. So it's not really. You sit down with your couple of emails, your couple of social media posts, and okay, let's look and see what happened so I can do better next time. It's always about improving and also knowing where you got the biggest gain, because where you got the biggest gain is where you want to focus on for the next time. Okay, so the post-workshop email is the same day. Most of the time that happens for us. There's occasions where we have to wait for Zoom to download and all that stuff. Life happens and my grandkids are here and I don't get the email out when I should, but ideally it's going to happen the same day. In that email, I'm inviting not only you to watch the replay again, but I'm saying for the people who already signed up, hey, this replay is available for 48 hours. You can put the replay on YouTube unlisted and make it private after 48 hours. Nobody can watch it then. Okay. So I don't lie about anything. If it becomes unlisted, it's only available for 48 hours. It's because we turn it off. Okay. You don't just say, come watch, hurry up and watch, and then leave it on. Then whatever the incentives are to grab their spots. I came up with an incentive this morning, this special session that we're going to have next week, 3 hours. I don't even do private coaching. So 3-hour session with Tice and myself and a couple of you guys that work with us. That's going to be an incredible session. So figure out what that's going to look like for you. Remind them of that, create urgency around that. Okay. And then your follow-up sequence, excuse me, it's to just reinforce everything you've talked about. What's the benefit? I could add in testimonials from the summit. You could add in like a result. Norma could add in what happens from taking grocery store supplements. One of the beautiful things Norma said in her talk was, I'm not here to sell you a bunch of supplements and make money off of you. You can take grocery store supplements. I'll tell you which ones to take, which I was like, I heard that and I was like, oh, that's so good. She could reinforce that. That builds trust. She's here to really help you sincerely with your help. How do you do that? Okay. And then the reminder email, last chance for bonuses. So yes, you're going to do your last chance emails and join by a certain date. Okay. So optimization, again, thinking about what the conversation was in the chat, how long were people engaged, what seemed to happen. You can see people's faces, so you can see what's happening. When were people leaving the call? What's the call to action that you had? Did you get people to take the call to action? Gather feedback for what worked, what didn't work, very important. And then this is what happens, you guys. This was the day of the summit we got these results back. Within 5 hours of somebody talking, I'm not going to give their names, but at this last summit, 30 opt-ins and 4 booked calls. The second one, 30 opt-ins, 4 booked calls in 24 hours. You can read this. The results are unbelievable. When you follow this process, this is what happens. So we invited people right then through a QR code to book a session, and that's what happened. All right. Again, adjust and refine whatever's happening to make sure that you get the best results. Another benefit of creating the workshop is that you have a piece of evergreen content. You have the recorded Zoom that you can edit, and then you can either put it on YouTube, you can send it out in email. It can be something that you use as a free gift. You'll have your freebie set up with it, all the pieces. I don't use the word funnel, but you essentially have a funnel set up. So imagine doing this 6 times a year. Now you have 6 ways for people to learn from you and to have an opportunity to get to know you. Okay. When you do your presentation, I talked about the timing to that. What I would suggest is that you start with their biggest frustration. Just a quick hack. Start with their biggest frustration. Tice, can you check and see who's unmuted again, if you wouldn't mind? And what is keeping them from their success? Those are 2 key pieces. All right. Oops, I went backwards there. What have they tried before that has not worked? So what, for all of you guys, your niche, what have they tried to do to gain control over their situation, and make sure you're hitting on that as well. So you're going to keep the whole thing pretty simple, pick your one topic and go from there. Okay. Educate people on the problem that you've identified. You have to show the gap. This is a key. In all of those talks and the way that I presented it to you, you display the gap of you are here and you're trying to get here, and your process in the middle fills the gap. Okay, that's how you get yourself as the person who's going to help them. And then shifting their perspective of why they actually want to get some support, right? Why do you want to take action on it? All right, so now we've talked about the workshop. I would love for you to decide on what your workshop topic is going to be. Anybody want to drop in the chat what their workshop topic is going to be? If you're not sure, you can tell me about your niche and I will give you some ideas on what your workshop topic could be. Okay, go ahead and share in the chat. Don't worry about anybody stealing your idea. Listen, there's millions of people. You have your people, they have their people. The one thing I would say for some of you guys who feel like taking women from pain to purpose, that is good, Linda. That is a summit talk. That's awesome. All of us would come, even if we were all doing the same talk. If I was talking about taking women from pain to purpose, I would be talking about it from my perspective. She would be talking about it from her perspective. We could all have the exact same slide deck and we would all say the same thing. Okay, so creating your title. This is really important, because people are going to see you promote the title and they're either going to decide to come or not. So my title for this workshop was about speaking to get clients is faster than social media, right? You can grow your business through speaking and get clients faster than any social media you do. I know that's a pain point for my people. They don't want to be on social media. So that's what my title was. That spoke to that. In this example, I tell them I'm going to teach and sell in 60 minutes. So there's a time frame and what it is they're going to do, actionable outcome and the desired result. You can screenshot these along the way if you want to. So I'll give you some examples of those. Tice, do you want to share what your title is for your summit talk? That'd be great, if you wouldn't mind. Okay. Do you guys, oh, we've shared. Okay. Integrating business and a holistic approach. I want to hear about that. Okay. Parental burnout and or infidelity. Yeah, parental burnout. So that would be like, you could extend that, like, what is the cost of being burned out as a parent to your teenage children? Like, that would be just taking it a little bit further. Simple tips to understand your personal style. I don't know who is a style person in here, but I'm very interested in that. Okay. So thank you for sharing those in the chat. Okay. Let me give you a recap. Remember, that's one of the steps that we do. I'm about ready to answer any questions. So there's the pre-workshop preparation that I talked about, the planning, the marketing, and crafting your workshop. That is also where the timeline comes in, you guys. You pick your timeline and you work backwards, figuring out how many weeks do you need to do this? You don't need months. When you pick a short timeline and you keep your word to yourself, you'll get it done, okay? Don't plan it for 6 months from now. Plan it for next month and get it done in 30 days. All right, then you want to work through the flow of your conversation and then the follow-up. All that must be done ahead of time. Okay, so we talked about the purpose. We talked about writing the workshop, what it's going to look like, perfecting the talk. We didn't talk about the presentation and all that, the slides and all that. I can answer questions about that as well, about the pre-planning for your marketing strategy, about scheduling the marketing ahead of time. I can talk to you about what platforms you might do that with, designing your sign-up forms and setting up those reminders, all automated on timed out schedules. How do you go live? What does that look like? What's the process of doing it? For the summit, we streamed it to YouTube. We had a client on this morning that was talking about streaming live on YouTube, period, for her workshop, not doing it on Zoom, doing it live on YouTube. So we talked about what that would look like. And then again, what your email follow-up and assessment is. So what's the date of your first workshop or your next workshop? Please tell me in the chat. Danette, I will send you the recording for sure. I should be happy. Yeah, there's Thaisa's. Okay. So I covered a whole bunch, but before I wrap up, I would love to know, first of all, what is your key takeaway? If you wouldn't mind sharing that for me, what is your key takeaway about speaking and or a workshop from what I have shared with you today? Linda, I'm going to hold you to a date there in April or May. I'd love to hear that. Okay. And then most of you guys have shared some dates and your topics in the chat, which is awesome. Okay. So again, the selling is selling to a consultation call. That's exactly what we did in the summit. We sold to complimentary coaching calls. Okay. I value teaching people how a coaching session works by giving them a coaching session. And what we find is that is very effective. When you give somebody a coaching session, they experience your coaching. You've automatically built know and trust. Okay, I love this. We're getting some dates. Woo me, go girl. I'm going to get you nailed down on that date too. So we want to make sure that you have an opportunity potentially to educate people, or I'm sorry, to coach people through a free coaching session and or help them on a consultation. Okay. So are you guys going to go all in? I hope so. I hope this is the next step you're going to take in your business and be an expert. This was a key point. In order for you to be respected for the niche that you have selected, you have to go out there and show people that you are an expert. And I know that you are. It doesn't matter whether you've had a certification or not. You have life experience, you have business experience, you have job experience, you have parenting experience. You are an expert at something. I can assure you of that. All right. So I'd love for you guys to take this to the next level. I would love for you to talk with me about what you're doing in your business and what your niche is. Let's have that niche evaluation session, see if we can validate your niche. What I know for sure is I just covered a lot of what you know you need to do, but here's what always happens. You don't know how to do the tech for the email. And just look beyond yourself about this. You're not sure how to use the Canva or share from Canva, which by the way, don't share your slides from Canva. There's a pro tip. You're not sure about Zoom settings. I'm just going to tell you guys, we had somebody inappropriately come into our Zoom call because I didn't have my Zoom settings set correctly. I didn't know that. After years of being on Zoom, you got to have Zoom set up correctly. You got to know how to sell, how to price. You can do a workshop, but if I don't know what my offer is when you get on a call with me, what good is that? Okay. So you got to know if I'm offering these assessment sessions, I already know what's going to happen in that session. I know how I'm going to evaluate your business because I have a process for doing it. So you got to know what that is too. Don't go to all that effort and not have these things figured out. Many of you guys need to grow an email list. How do you do that? How do you collaborate with people? You need to have payment links ready. For goodness sakes, do not wait till you're on a call with somebody to give somebody a payment link, okay? Because that means you're going to have to get the payment link and send it to them later. You will have lost the deal by then. All this stuff has to be ready and prepared, okay? So your new decision that you have made is you're going to host a workshop. I saw that. You've picked your date. Oh, look at there, March 26th. I love it. June 14th. Or June 24th, excuse me. This is so awesome. And then commit to doing it. I've given you the steps already. I want to mention to you guys that you can do the whole thing. You can go back through and watch the replay again. I literally outlined the whole talk, but I suspect you're going to get stuck. That's just my guess. That's from our own experience. That's why we help people with every step of the summit as well. So we have a roadmap. It's actually a guidebook. If we have a call and I think that you're a fit for this, we have an exact process, word for word. You fill in the blank of what to do to build your business, to get clients booked, how to hold the free coaching calls, how to have consultations, how to make offers, how to price offers, how to post on social media, everything. So why now? If you're interested in being in our summit, we have summit spots available at the current way that we're offering them through the last day of this month, through the 28th. We actually have half of our summit spots already spoken for our September 10th event because we've only talked to half of the last speakers. And so far, all of them, except for one or two of them, is going to speak at the next summit. So half the spots are already filled And we haven't even gone through all the speakers yet. So why now is because of the summit. Why this? Because this is a way to get your business built. I shared with you guys the results. It's unbelievable what has happened for people. This is our 4th session coming up on the 5th summit, and we know that it works. So inside the Business Building Boutique, I'll just touch on it. We have different ways to support you. That's going to depend on what you want, what kind of support that you want. We offer templates for everything. We have trainings on technology. We have trainings on how to fill in the blank things, everything that you need. We have a community. This is literally a picture of a coaching call. When you're worried about, am I going to get the support that I want? That is a coaching call. Tice and I are the bottom 2. So this is a day where we had a lot of coaches, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 people, 9 coaches and Tice and myself. We have a Facebook group where we review things. You get answers on everything. Everybody gets the next steps. All of this to just say, I don't want to sell you a course. I want to sell you answers, direct feedback, next steps, somebody to bounce ideas off of. So we do have the materials to teach you how to do this stuff. But in reality, what you buy from us is that hand-holding, side by side, let me do this with you kind of support. That's the reason why our clients got the results that they got, is because we did it with them. It's hard to do this stuff if you've never done it before. We have a roadmap. We have a framework. We know how this works. I've been doing the same thing since 2016, and we have everything in place. But again, what we really provide is answers and next steps and honest feedback. Okay, so you're going to get Canva graphics. You're going to get advertising materials. You're going to get our emails to copy. You're going to get an opt-in to use to grow an email list. You're going to get all kinds of things to basically set up your business. If you don't have your website done, we have a method to write every page of copy for your website. If you don't have your website done, we also have a template that you can use. If you have it done, congratulations, get on to the next step. If you don't know how to edit video, we can teach you how to edit video. It really is a very comprehensive program of start to finish, getting you booked with clients. Okay. If you are interested in being a speaker, I've already given you the results, but these are people who have given us initial feedback. Just do it. You can read the highlighted parts. You know, the second one, we never leave our people alone. We are walking with them every step of the way, guiding them, encouraging them, showing them everything to do, including how to share your screen and how to even present. All of that is part of what we do with our summit speakers, which is why they did so good. It's why they booked all those calls. And the last summit, within 7 days, what was it? 14 of the people had made 11 sales already within 7 days. These are people that had never made money. We had one client that sold a $3,500 offer. She'd never sold anything. So it really is a unique opportunity. If you're not trained on what to do, we will train you on all of it. If you want to get your business moving forward, I seriously do not know any other way to do it. I don't know anyone who does anything like what we do. So super excited. The summit is happening September 10th, 11th, and 12th. We will already be working on all this. You will be building your business. The summit is just the process of building your business. It's learning how to communicate, do the workshops, do the marketing. It's putting all of that into place. So you're actively doing it, working with clients until you get to that time. It's really business in action. So again, people sell clients while we work together. This is more about our summit feedback. I connected with Carissa. She was a client from 2013. By the way, Tice is also a former client of ours. I connected with her. She now has a book. Her business is doing great. And she really credits all back to, she started on YouTube. So excited now. She had, at the time in 2024, she had 100 subscribers on YouTube. She's doing all of those things. So I'm just showing you that people start working with us and they still have businesses. Carissa just published her book, I think last fall. So lots of exciting things. We do have limited time bonuses with savings of 50%. And the summit seat is part of it, an extra month of coaching. So schedule a call if you're interested. And this is part of the assessment evaluation piece that you get. Much love to you guys. It's always fun to chat. And everybody else, have a beautiful day, you guys. Thank you so much for being here.